The Last of Us Part 3 leaves fans seriously divided. Go home, you're Druckmann. So, since its 2013 release on PlayStation 3, The Last of Us has cemented itself as a gaming experience and a masterpiece. Developed by Naughty Dog, it joined the ranks of legendary franchises like Crash Bandicoot and Uncharted. The game was praised for its gripping narrative, compelling characters, and emotional depth, setting a new benchmark for storytelling in video game. Following the first game's massive success, The Last of Us Part 2 arrived in 2020, introducing a controversial yet ambitious storyline. The sequel received critical acclaim but divided the fan base with its character choices and darker themes. In addition to the sequel, Naughty Dog has released multiple remasters and a remake of the original game, ensuring that the franchise remains relevant and accessible to new audiences. So Neil Druckmann, co-president of Naughty Dog, has teased the possibility of a third installment but has not confirmed its development. He has mentioned that the studio has ideas for another game, but that it would only be pursued if it meets the high standards expected from the franchise. As reported by Games Radar, Druckmann stated that don't bet on there being more Last of Us and this could be it. These remarks have left fans in shock as many expected a natural continuation of the story. Given the immense success of the series, his comments have sparked heated debates among whether the franchise should continue or end on its current note. The fan base is split into two camps: those who believe a third game is inevitable and necessary to conclude the story properly, and those who feel that the narrative has already reached a satisfying conclusion. Some believe that Naughty Dog should move on to new projects, while others argue that there is still much more to explore in the Last of Us universe. A major cliffhanger debate is that a major point of contention among fans is whether The Last of Us Part 2 ended on a cliffhanger. Some argue that Ellie's story feels incomplete as she is left alone after losing everything. Others believe that her journey has full come to circle as she lets go of revenge and chooses a different path. So the ambiguity of the ending has led to ongoing discussions about whether the story truly needs another chapter or not. Reddit has become a battleground for fans debating the need for The Last of Us Part 3. Some users insist that Ellie's immunity and potential scientific discoveries should be explored further, while others believe that the game should not force another installment for the sake of it. Some of the most upvoted Reddit comments expresses frustration at Druckmann's uncertainty, while others appreciate the artistic decision to leave things open-ended. Speculation about the possible storytelling of The Last of Us Part 3 is rampant. Some fans theorize that the game could focus on an older Ellie struggling with survivor's guilt and the consequences of her past actions, while others suggest that a medical breakthrough could put her immunity in the spotlight once again, forcing her into a life-altering decision. Another debate among fans is whether the third game should continue Ellie's story or introduce a new protagonist. Some argue that the franchise should shift focus to characters like Abby or Lev, while others suggest that introducing a brand new lead could provide a fresh perspective on the post-apocalyptic world. Abby and Lev's journey in The Last of Us Part 2 left many questions unanswered. Where did they go after reaching the Firefly settlement? Or what role could they play in a potential sequel? Some fans believe that their story deserves more exploration, potentially as main characters in Part 3. Druckmann has previously hinted that there is a story outline for The Last of Us Part 2, but he has also emphasized that Naughty Dog will only pursue it if they feel passionate about it. He has stated that the studio does not want to make a sequel for financial gain, but rather because they have a compelling story to tell. Naughty Dog is currently focused on Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophet, a new sci-fi IP that have been in development for some time. This suggests that if The Last of Us Part 3 is in the works, it might not be released for several years. Some fans worry that the studio shift its focus could mean that The Last of Us Part 3 may never happen at all. So despite Druckmann's cautious statements, the financial success of The Last of Us series makes it unlikely that Sony would pass the opportunity for another installment. With both games selling millions of copies and winning numerous awards, a third game would undoubtedly be a major success. The HBO adaptation of The Last of Us has introduced the franchise to an even wider audience, with the slow receiving critical acclaim and expanding the fan base. Its success could play a key role in influencing the decision to develop a third game. Some believe that Naughty Dog may wait until the show has explored more of the existing story before moving forward with a new game. With so many fans invested in the series, the pressure to create a satisfying conclusion is immense. Naughty Dog faces the challenges of meeting high expectations while avoiding the mistakes that that led to the diverse reception of Part 2. Balancing fan service with a meaningful narrative would be a critical factor in whether The Last of Us Part 3 becomes a reality. Some critics argue that continuing the series could dilute its impact. The beauty of The Last of Us lies in its emotional storytelling and grounded characters. If a third game is forced without a strong narrative foundation, it might risk feeling unnecessary or repetitive. If The Last of Us Part 3 will happen, it could take several different directions. It could continue Ellie's story, explore a new character's journey, or even introduce multiple playable protagonists. The game could also expand the world, showcasing new factions, locations, and threats. In addition to the main storyline, Naughty Dog has been working on a Last of Us multiplayer project. While not a direct sequel, this game could expand the universe and provide players with new experiences while waiting for a potential Part 3 release. At this point, the future of The Last of Us remains uncertain. While Druckmann's comments have left many fans divided, history has shown that major franchises rarely end where there is still demand. So whether The Last of Us Part 3 happen or not, the impact of the series will be felt for years to come. So while The Last of Us Part 3 remains unconfirmed, the franchise impact ensures that the debate will continue. Whether or not we get a trilogy, The Last of Us remains one of the most talked about game sagas of all time. Fans will have to wait and see if Naughty Dog decides to take one final journey into this post-apocalyptic world. And so in conclusion, we can say that fans of The Last of Us remains divided as speculation around The Last of Us 3 continues, while the first two games set a high bar for storytelling. So Neil Druckmann's recent statement, "Don't bet on there being more Last of Us," has left many questioning whether a trilogy will be completed or not. So despite Druckmann's word, many believe that The Last of Us Part 3 is inevitable. Speculation around The Last of Us Part 3 release date is growing, with fans eagerly awaiting an official announcement or even The Last of Us Part 3 trailer soon. So the ambiguity of Part 2's ending has left and led us to debate over whether Ellie's journey is truly over or if there has been more to explore or a new protagonist is there on the horizon very soon. While some argue that the franchise should end on a high note, others believes that there's a still story to tell, especially regarding Ellie's immunity. So Abby and Liv's journey and the potential of a new protagonist, with the HBO adaptation expanding the fan base, debate for a demanding sequel remains high. So though Naughty Dog is focused on the other projects as well, the franchise's massive success makes The Last of Us Part 3 a likely, if distant, reality. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what are your thoughts and opinions about The Last of Us Part 3? Do you think we will get a Last of Us Part 3 trailer soon, or is this the end of the road? Let me know in the comments below, guys, and I would love to hear your opinions. And hit the like button and subscribe our channel for more notifications. The bell icon, bro, that's the most important thing of all time. Do click it because your guys deserves the notifications sooner, and we will be covering up every Last of Us 3 topics, from rumors to official news, information, music, and much more here on in this channel. So do subscribe for more, guys. Until then, stay tuned for more updates and see you all in our next video. This is Capix Gaming, and goodbye.